don't get it on now. Get it on now. Just don't get it on now. Get it on now. Don't get it on now. Get it on now. Just don't get it on now. Get it
Hello, we're here and we are in the FIA manufacturing series, round 4 I believe this was, at Sardenga. We'll just quickly go over this, very quickly over this. And as you can see, I qualified in 7th, so I had a pretty good qualifying this time around. Normally my qualifying is normally pretty bad, but on this occasion I didn't actually have a bad qualifier. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I had a very good race. It just depends. Alright, now all that out of the way, we can now get actually into the actual race. But yeah, so I qualified 7th. There was potential for me to get 3rd, but I think I kind of messed up on my last flying lap. Unfortunately, I didn't plan the tyre changes properly for the qualifying, so unfortunately that did cost me. But still, 7th isn't a bad qualifying place. You will have to say 7th for me at least. Anyway, it's not actually that bloody bad, considering my history with qualifying. But yeah, so we are in, I believe this is round 4. If I remember correctly. It says at the beginning of the video, I just didn't pay attention to it. But I'm pretty sure this is round 4, and yet we are sitting near road track C, but going in reverse. And now, you may see it through bits of this, but for some reason, even though at the moment everybody's internet connection is green, and mine does dip down from like once or twice, I think. It did sort of like dip down like once or twice. You see that? You see little jumps, people's cars getting like jittering, like sort of jumping like that there was bad connection. But then when you actually look at everybody's connection is green. So unfortunately, on a couple of occasions, and unfortunately, I get turned off here, and unfortunately, that's just, I think the Spanish guy, I'm pretty sure it was a Spanish driver in the Porsche, because I did go back, and then this guy in the I think it's a Lexus, was pushing in, and so it was like it's just like he's pushing in. I'm trying to at least make sure that I'm at least staying on the track, and it's just one of those times where like, you know, the cars will collide and then they'll go out and then they'll come back in together. It's like they're magnetized. It's again, jumps there. The guy in front of me, his car suddenly jumps. I get a 3-second penalty because there was a little bit of contact, because his car jittering sort of threw me off. Plus, obviously, he was going a bit slow there for some reason. I'm not totally sure why. But as you saw, everyone's connection was green, and then his car jittered like there was a bad connection. And unfortunately, it just did it at the wrong time. So unfortunately, there was a bit of contact. It wasn't heavy contact, but it was a bit of contact. So even though getting that 3-second penalty is a bit rubbish, but you know, it's not a lot I could do. There wasn't much there. He goes flying in. He turns in a bit too much, I think, at that point, considering. And so yeah, unfortunately, it was just a case of the guy in the Porsche. He was going a bit slow through here for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but he seemed to be going a little bit slower. But then also at the same time, his car suddenly like lagged out a little bit, which kind of threw me off at that point because I'm obviously obviously you're concentrating. So when little things like that happens, it can throw you off, even if it's only something very small. And that's just unfortunately one of those cases. So we started off quite strong, and then it had a bit of a messy moment. And then it's going to start calming down, but there still will be points where cars will lag. Though internet connections are all in the green. So I don't know if it was a server problem. If there was a slight, get a bit messy in there. If there was a slight server issue at this point, I'm not going to say that that's the reason why maybe why I didn't do, maybe why I didn't go from like 7th up to like 3rd or something like that in the actual race. It was just something that I noticed during the race, that people's cars would lag, even if it was only for like half a second. They would lag for some reason, which I'm not 100% sure why they lagged, because then the connection is green. But enough about internet connection, because always I go on throughout the whole bloody goddamn race. Going back to my incident where I got hit off in T1. As far as I can remember, because I did go back through the replay just to have a look, just to see what happened. And as far as I can tell, the Porsche that hit me was driven by a Spanish driver. Who that was, I don't know. I can't remember their name. But again, I don't think it was the guy who was. Oh no, the guy wasn't trying to ram people off over that. I think unfortunately, he was just going in just a little bit too fast and trying to enter the apex at the same time as I was entering the apex to try and get on the inside, the person that was nearer to me. And he was just going just a little bit too fast, and unfortunately I got caught in the crossfire. But due to that incident going on, I did also actually slightly change my tyre strategy, because I was going to go start on softs, then do a long stint on the hards, and then go back to the softs for the end. I was going to do that kind of strategy. But due to that incident and me dropping down, it's like, right, I need to be able to get to a point where I can kind of catch up a little bit. So I need to basically make some ground. And though I think it kind of worked, it kind of did, and it's like situations where it kind of did and it kind of didn't work. You'll see what I mean by the end. But so at the end of this, I think it's this lap anyway. It's either this lap or the next lap. it's one of these laps. A bit rough. But I will pit in and I will change from softs to going back to soft tyres again. But yeah, obviously for this race, using hards was a mandatory requirement. It was basically you had to at least use the hard compound once. Whether you used it as a full set of hard tyres or if you used it as like a hybrid set. So that being like, softs on the front, hards on the back, or softs on the back and hards on the front. That's what I mean by hybrid set. I didn't bother doing the hybrid set. I wanted to see if there was a way to get the hybrid set to work on this, which there is possibly a way to do it. I don't know, because of the length of the race. I don't know if hybrid sets would have been a viable thing for it. Well, I thought I'd have a look, and I couldn't find a way to do it. But I'm not a master of tyre strategy. Maybe Key 25 may have had a strategy for hybrid sets, or Tishney may have had a strategy for hybrid sets. I don't know, but for me, I couldn't think of a good way to implement a hybrid set to try and minimise down the amount of pit-ins that I do. So I probably do actually pit in a bit more than what other people do in this race, because I've now obviously I've switched so hard to softer tyres again. But obviously, unfortunately, with doing that does drop it down to 14th with doing that. But it's all past the plan, because I knew I was going to drop down. I knew I would drop down to 14th, but I am running soft tyres. And if a person was going to go on a similar strategy to me, of softs, then hards, and softs, they would pit in around about the same lap, sort of that I pitted in again. Sort of like the same lap that I pitted in. Maybe a lap later, so I could possibly potentially make it that going. The only thing that I didn't take into account was that there was actually the use of medium tyres. I didn't actually take that into account. Now, whether me using medium tyres would have changed my result, I personally don't think it would have. I don't think it would have changed the result for me. But I didn't actually take into account people having the use of medium tyres, because I didn't actually realise that there was use of medium tyres. But that was just bad observation from me there, really. But so I've managed to come up to 12th for now. Take a bit of a brave dive into that corner to do an overtake. Pays off. I managed to overtake. Bit brave, because it was quite fast at that point. So I managed to come up into 11th. We managed to come up a few, climbed up one position, but we managed to climb up a few positions from the previous lap, like when I was down 14th. Going for a brave line, just a little bit of smashing contact. Just, unfortunately, just not a lot anyone could do there. I was at the inside. The guy in the, I think that guy was in the WRX. Obviously, also was trying to take a bit of a line as well, and it's just unfortunately on the inside, and it's just not a lot anyone could do there. But again, it didn't cause any major incidents, so it's not a big problem. It was just a bit of a brave overtake, I think, for me there, really. Actually, that's something I have slowly started to actually become in this game, is actually braver going into the corners. I have slowly actually become a bit more braver with trying to overtake in corners, because I was always a bit, not like nervous to do it. There's a slight bit of contact there, which just forced me to go a bit wide. But again, I think that's just because it wasn't a lot there. I think his name's like Nanny, or it's like Nan 1990. I was going to call him Nan. I think it's just that because obviously there, Nan was in my slipstream, I braked, and he probably didn't probably take the slipstream into account, but he did manage to brake in time enough, so I didn't go flying off. It's just unfortunately, I just went a tiny bit wide, which allowed him to take 7th place, which, all in all, it could have ended in a worse result. That slight little bit of contact there it could have easily have ended in a massive disaster. But yeah, I have become a bit more braver in taking the corners and overtaking actually in the corners, and this was actually the first time because of the recent update with the Lewis Hamilton DLC, the time trial challenge. Obviously doing that, I've been trying to do that with outrunning the car with no traction control on, because it's the only way that I'm actually gonna probably actually ever bloody beat it, potentially, or even at least get the goal at times. And thanks to doing that, I've actually gotten a bit more used to actually driving Group 3 cars without traction control, which I always used to have traction control on, but now But see, this whole race, I don't have it on whatsoever for the whole entire race. And I've actually gotten more used to actually driving the cars without traction control. So now I got to progress up to Group 2 and then Group 1 kind of thing. But at the moment, I am also actually getting better at controlling the car without traction control on, which then ultimately should then lead into me being just a little bit faster. Just a little bit faster, but a little bit faster. So I just sort of pitted in, and I'm now on doing my hard tyre stint, which again, this race it was mandatory to at least use the hard compound at least once, and probably at least for one lap. Obviously, I'll use it for a bit more than one lap, but you know you have to use them for at least one lap. Which unfortunately some people either one still forgot or still forget to do, or they just don't bother, which ultimately it costs them at the end, as you'll see. So we're going to come on lap 15, so still in 11th. Mechanical goes a bit wide, is it? Yeah. Again, slightly little bit of contact going on there, but I think it's just at that point I was going around the corner. I was getting around the corner a bit faster than what he was doing, and he was trying to get back into a straight line kind of thing. But again, no major incidents, and it was just no harm, no foul. Wasn't anything major bad happened. It was just unfortunate I was actually going around the corner faster than probably what he was expecting, basically. But he didn't have any problem with it, so I don't think anyone else would have any problem with it either. So all is good. So we're going to skip ahead now. I think to lap 21. I think it is. Yeah. So I've just pitted in. I've just ended my hard tyre stint, and so now we're on the final stint on the softs for basically from lap 21 until the end. So as you can see, I'm still 11th. I think I did manage to climb a couple of positions whilst doing the hard tyre stint, but obviously that pit in then obviously put me back down again, back down to 11th. Now, catching up with this Aston Martin, he had a very slow section there, very slow section. As to why, I don't know, but he had a very slow section there. I think also by this point I also did have another half a second penalty, and seeing the Aston Martin there just jittering about because of internet connections problems apparently. It's still a mystery to me. But yeah, at one point during the hard stint I did get a half a second penalty. Fortunately it was just because it was after this corner, you know, I would have took this corner, and unfortunately I just clipped the grass in here and got pulled off. But I got to have a second penalty for saying it was ignoring track limits. It's like, well, okay, I'm off the track, fair enough, fine. I'm off the track, and that's beyond the track limits. Okay, I get it. But I'm not off the track because I want to be off the track. I'm off the track because the grass is pulling me off the track. I'm actually at that point I was trying to get back onto the track, but the car but you know, it's like in Suzuka, say for example, it's like or in Willow Springs, if you go off the track just a little tiny bit, you get pulled off and you go flying. It was that kind of situation. So that's not exactly me ignoring the track limits. That's me being pulled off by some strange kind of form of physics. What physics that is, I don't know. But anyway, it did a half second penalty. It didn't cost me much in the end. I don't think it cost me any positions over that. It was just fortunate. It was like ignoring track limits. Well, I wanted to get back on track, but the grass wouldn't let me. It was holding me hostage on the side of the road. But so managed to come up into 9th. I think might have some people pit. Now the guy in the GTR behind me. No, I will grant you, he was fast. He was a pretty fast pace. I will grant you. Though there were some people had quite a fair few problems with him at the end. I don't think I I don't think I recorded all the people who called him out, but a lot of people will call him out basically for being a dirty bastard. I didn't have any major problems with him myself, apart from on the last lap. But I don't know if on that occasion if it was him being a bit aggressive, or if it was because of lag. Because again, there was a lot of lag, even though everyone's connection was actually pretty good throughout pretty much most of the race. As you can see there, he goes flying into that corner, but he keeps it. You know, he keeps it there. It's a good overtake. It's a nice, clean, good overtake on the outside. But as you can see, there's little bits of lag. But at the moment, everyone's connection is fine, or at least within the green. I mean, mine's dropped now, so I don't know if it was just the game taking a while to register it. But you know, it drops there, and then it goes back up again. You know, so I don't know if there's just, like, delays in things. I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't know if it was a server issue. But yeah, but back to the guy in the GCR. I can't remember what his name is. He's a Turkish driver, but I can't remember what his name is. It's like Enra or something along those lines. So I'm just gonna call him Enra. But yeah, as you can say, he did seem to be a little bit pushy with the driver in the BMW. Or is that the Mazda? Actually, it might be the Mazda. The Mazda, not the BMW, sorry. But you see, he's been a bit pushy there. But I didn't have any like major problems with Enra or Emra. I still don't know what his bloody name is. Is that Emra? But on the last lap, there is an incident. It's not like a massive incident. It's just unfortunately, it seems to be a point where he might have been a bit too aggressive. But again, I don't know if it was because he was aggressive. Look there, that bit there. Because there is a bit of contact, but the problem is I don't know if that was him being aggressive, because as you saw in the corner, there was a bit of lag at the same time. So I don't know if that was him just being very aggressive, going very aggressively into the corner, or if that was because of lag. So therefore then there wasn't actually much he could do, or that I could do in that situation. I don't know. But the only problem was for Emra is that he completely, I don't know if he forgot or if he didn't bother, and actually didn't change. He never used the hard tyres, and you can see somebody go off there as well. So we finish in 8th, but we climb up to 7th because, oh, what's his bloody goddamn name? It's like Emerald. Oh, Emerald Cargill, I think. I see. He just drops down. Because of that 20-second penalty, he drops down, and he drops down. I think he drops down a little bit more until he gets to like 15th, I think it is. But right, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video, so please remember to like and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And until next time, I will see you all at the finishing line.